Thanks for joining us here on the Saturday Sun. The big question in the aftermath of the Colorado shooting is, who is James Holmes? Many are weighing in with their thoughts on the alleged shooter, including the commissioner of the New York Police Department.
Clearly looks like a deranged individual. He had his hair painted red. He said he was the Joker.
And as the puzzle pieces of the moment leading up to the mass shooting are starting to come together, a portrait is being painted of James Holmes. Joining us now to help us get a better understanding of the suspected killer is Jim Van Allen. Jim's a criminal profiler and president of Behavioral Sciences Solutions Group. Jim joins us over the phone from Okanagan Valley, British Columbia. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for taking time to speak with us today. I don't want to put you in the position of having to diagnose someone you've never met, an arm's length diagnosis, but there are some things that jump out in cases like this that enable people with your area of expertise to put together somewhat of a profile. Can you do that for us right now?
Well, I'm not in any position to diagnose them. That's certainly not within my skill set, but in our experience in dealing with mass shootings and these types of incidents, this type of personality generally tends to be that loner type with few friends, really don't interact well with a lot of people, and this seems to be what's starting to surface about Mr. Holmes. There's generally a triggering event that precedes these incidents, and I find it curious that he's opting out of a PhD program in the months before the shooting. That would have taken a lot of preparation in the procuring of weapons and the booby traps and everything else. Other comments that I think are significant is that his friends are saying that he seemed to identify with the villains from the superhero movies, and it would appear in this case that he's trying to emulate or imitate the destructive role of the Joker. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that symbolic link between the movie, the theme, the violence, the characters can be ignored at all in this particular case.
Jim, those, signposts on the path to destruction that this person allegedly has taken that led up to the shooting at the theater, is that something that police can look back on to sort of reconstruct what happened, or even more importantly, why it happened?
Well, they're going to be, the whys will probably never be explained to everybody's satisfaction. Mm-hmm. I think it comes down to a simple matter of people do what they want to do. They do what makes them feel good. They do what they think needs to be done, or make the statement they feel they need to make. And I think this is essentially an individual that feels this statement is more important at this point of his life than anything else. And I think it comes down to being gratified by violence for violence sake.
Jim, is it even possible to, abort someone in the process of becoming a mass murderer?
If you can spot and correctly interpret the significance of what it is you're seeing, certainly the right interventions can take. Now, I'm certainly not pointing a finger of blame at anybody. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that these incidents would have been significant enough, but it would appear, looking now, that here's an individual who's been, his focus is his academic life, and yet he's opting out. He started grades deteriorating in May, and then he opted out of the program. That's the time for people to step in with a caring attitude and start looking around at other activities that are going on. If somebody had have seen that and the focus on the gun purchases, that starts drawing an ominous link.
Jim, the reason why I put that question to you is simply this. There are reports that a news outlet in the States, ABC News, contacted Holmes's mother, the alleged suspect in this case, and she did not react in a way that would indicate that she was surprised at the outcome of this situation. That leads me to believe that she saw something in her son that could possibly lead to mass destruction of some sort.
Okay, well, I'm not too certain about the context of the mother's statements, and I'd like to just, stand back from that and give her an opportunity to explain that more. But that could be very significant. But I was reading about one of the professors in the program Holmes was enrolled in, and when he heard one of the students was involved, he immediately went to Holmes as being possibly responsible. So that did indicate that there was some recognition of the fact that he had some issues, he had some problems, he was that perhaps socially isolated, that quiet, unusually or oddly quiet, that it might be a connection to this incident. And this is what I mean by people caring enough to spot these changes in people's behavior and just monitor, observe, question a few things, watch for other problematic indicators, and whether it's the people closest to him, whether it's the people at the school, or whether it's a family member, yes, these things can be observed, and interventions can occur to reduce the risk of violence, certainly.
Jim, I appreciate you taking the time to speak to us. You've given us a lot to think about here. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
All right, that's criminal profiler and president of Behavioral Sciences Solutions Group, Jim Van Allen. And Jim joined us over the phone from the Okanagan Valley in BC.